Hey guys, Jim Chandler with Rock Your Best Vocals coming to you with, what was that? An inward scream or an outward scream? It was an outward scream. We're going to talk about inward versus outward scream because this just came up as a question for me. Inward versus outward, which is better? So we're going to address that now. Let's get into it. So this came up and I wanted to address this with my 30 plus years of professional singing experience. Going back at the very beginning of my experience, I could only inward scream. Okay, I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly of that. And then I want to talk about the benefits of why you would want to learn to outward scream and get the outward whistle tones that you could get really probably more with outward. Okay, so let's get into let's address inward screaming. Okay, why is it good, why is it bad? Inward screaming can be easier to do. In fact, when I first started singing a long time ago, that's all I could do. Somehow it's easy for me to access that. I can't access it as much anymore because I'm out of practice of doing that. But I kind of stopped doing it for several reasons. It's contrary to kind of the way you're singing. The singing is you're like always singing outward. If you're singing and you want to sing, you want to sing, you want that kind of all moving in the same momentum. When I used to sing kind of Van Halen stuff and I'd hear David Lee Roth do those screams, I could only inhale. So if I'm singing and then I go, all right, wow, and have to change the breathing. It's kind of like stopping the car and then reversing straight away, and it's like kind of contrary to the flow of it. And I thought that was the only way you could do it, okay, until I started to learn how to actually do the outward screaming. That comes from, I'll show you guys how to do that in a bit here. I just want to talk about the kind of reason why you wouldn't want to inward scream, because it's contrary to the outward singing mode. It's like you have to slam on the brakes and hit reverse to get that inward screaming. The other reason is I found that even when I was kind of well practiced at doing it, you're actually running the risk, and probably a lot of times I would do this, is when you're inhaling, you're actually inhaling saliva. So you're, if you've ever seen like a video of somebody like singing, you see the vocal cords vibrate, and there's naturally a bit of saliva on there. So if you're inhaling, you're actually inhaling saliva, and the tendency then is to cough. Okay, so those are a couple reasons why, and it's okay. In some instances, I found it kind of quite cool. It sounded pretty cool. Like I thought at the beginning of Welcome to the Jungle, I thought that's how Axl was doing it. It possibly is, because it's like this. Kind of, and you can hear the kind of the gurgling of the saliva getting ready to come into my throat. There's nothing really to stop that. Once you start sucking in saliva, it's going to just keep coming. It's just going to go into your lungs. Now, liquid is not really good for your lungs, and that's why you cough. So it would often make me cough. And does it hash your voice? Coughing does, yes. Does inward screaming hash your voice? Yes, I would say that's one of the areas that I really damaged my voice a lot, doing things like that.
There's a few reasons why our body is not physiologically designed to handle that kind of suction. Most people who inhale scream inevitably have bruising, some sort of vocal cord hemorrhaging, and ultimately it can break the surface.
There's less control of it like coming in. So it's okay to use, in my opinion, it's okay to use in some instances, but I'm going to use a car analogy. Let's just say I don't want to learn how to shift the gears to go from first to second, third, all the way up to sixth. I just want to stay in first because it's easy. But if you want to shift those screams and the whistle tones up to sixth gear, that's outward screaming there. Okay, and I learned how to do that and I'll show you again a bit now. After I go into the benefits of using the outward screaming, I'll show you how to do that, how you can actually get those, and you get polytones, and you can imitate a lot of the singers like David Lee Roth, because he's using that like wine. She's on fire, barely a beginner, but just wow. watch that lady go. And I would found just try to go, but just watch that lady go. Okay, so it's not exact. I'm not sounding exactly like, but that's an example of he's singing out and then into that screaming, that whistle tone. You know, how are you going to do that otherwise? Like it's not possible. Like wine. Ah! You have to shift. You see what I'm talking about? You have to to hit the brakes and back up and reverse. So it's not really feasible. So it's much more beneficial for you to learn how to do those whistle tones and the screams on the outward than it is to do it inward. It's very limited. You're limiting yourself. You know, like also like in let's just say Foo Fighters song. Is someone giving the best, the best, the best? You know, you could really get, wow! You can really up your game singing wise if you actually just take the time to learn how to do the screams and the whistle singing, you know, on the outward rather than try to just do it on the inward and, you know, risk damage to your voice, which I had to discover over 30 years of singing professionally. So what I'm saying is, come to me and learn from my experience, okay, young Padawans. Come to learn from my many years of experience. That's why I started this channel in the first place, was to share my experience so you guys don't go down rocky roads that have pitfalls and fall off a cliff and ruin your voice doing it, because like I've done a lot of damage to my voice. I had to learn how to sing in better ways so that I didn't damage my voice. And I want to share those with you guys. So hopefully you like this video. But let's get into how you can actually learn that outward screaming, okay? And how you can get good polytones and things like that on that outward screaming. It's much more impressive. It's much more versatile if you can learn how to do that outward. So what you want to do is you want to get a tone, okay? So whatever's comfortable for you. It doesn't matter the tone, but let's just say, and you want to go, just start to bring in a little bit of a sound. And at the end, I'm just kind of pushing a little bit more with my support muscles, with my abdomen, and just kind of raising it up. If you want to learn more about this, I get into all of the basics of singing. There's a free course down below where I get into the basics of singing. I teach you all of this stuff, how to really start, how to learn how to do this stuff. And we can go on further from there if you want to learn a bit more about that, or if you're having difficulty with your voice, hit me up. There's a link for the one-to-one down below. And we can really get into this, and I can teach you in just a few short lessons how to cover all this stuff. But there's a lot of information in that free course that will help you down the road to start learning how to use your support. Now, that course is not going to be free for very long, so take it while it's there. Again, let's just try to just start with that note. Let's start with a little higher. And bring in a little bit of air and kind of just go. So the first part is you hit a note, and then the second part is kind of more of a whispery, like you want to and you'll find if you push a little bit more from your abdomen, you can, and kind of raise it up through your nasal cavity, you can really get a good, like, you can eventually get like a, like that, like a good polytone whistle tone. Okay, so you can really get a cool whistle tone if you like start to play with this, and you know, just do it kind of slowly, bring it in, kind of balance between the two. So it's just a little balance between the two. Knowing that you will get it, you can do this if you just practice and practice and practice. It's going to be much more versatile because you're going to be flowing on the way out. Hit up the link down below for the free course where you can learn a bit more about this. You can already hear in my voice where that inward singing is like sucking in saliva and making me cough has already started to trash my voice a little bit. Is that good? No, it's definitely not good to do that, okay? And that's why my normal speaking voice is a lot more harsh than it probably should be because of all the years of me kind of goofing around and doing damage to my voice. I see that as a benefit because I can help you and other people like you that want to learn how to sing without damage to their voice so they can sing for a lot longer and have a nice long career out of it rather than just kind of sing for a couple of years, trash your voice, and then never be able to sing in the future. So if you want like a nice long career, come into my zone and the Obi-Wan Kenobi, and may the force be with you. Rock your best vocals where your best keeps getting better. I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you like more videos like this. And if you want to see that David Lee Roth video, I'm going to put it here, or here, or one of these. Check out some of these other videos because they're related to this one, and you're going to learn a ton here. So welcome to the family. Rockstar. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.